Discussion keeps the world turning.
This is Round Table.
You're listening to Roundtable. I'm Steve Hatherley today with Yushan and Yushun. Coming up, there's a growing backlash against the throwaway culture most of us grew up with. Meet the Repair Café movement. Strangers sit down together, pull out their broken stuff, and actually fix it together. Toasters, sweaters, lamps, you name it. What started small has turned into a global wave of people who refuse to replace what they can repair. After that, coming up on this week's Soapbox, you go to a destination, you see the beauty, and you think, wow, this is lovely. Let me take some pictures for social. That's the way it's always been, but not anymore. It's a bit of a reversal now. Now, people are traveling to certain spots because they know they can take some great pictures there. But what's at risk when you go for that perfect shot? Something is bound to go wrong. Our podcast listeners can find us at Roundtable China on Apple Podcasts, and you can get in touch with us and tell us your story. roundtablepodcast@qq.com. Send your voice notes, roundtablepodcast@qq.com. And now, think about the last time something you owned broke. Maybe it was a toaster that stopped heating. Maybe it was your guitar strings that suddenly snapped on you, or maybe a lamp that suddenly started to flicker at night. If you are like most people in the modern world, you thought, well, I'm going to throw away that lamp and get a new one online. It's cheap and I can replace it within 24 hours. Why would I not do that? But a global rebellion is challenging this buy, use, toss mentality. It's called the Repair Café movement, and its philosophy is very simple. Fix it. Don't pitch it. What started as a tiny local project has exploded into a global anti-consumerist community that transforms how we relate to our belongings and to each other. How did it become as popular as it is? We're going to find out. But first, let's start with the definition. What exactly is a repair cafe in the first place?
Well, a repair cafe is really unlike traditional repair shops where you drop off an item and just pay a fee and expect it to get fixed up immediately. It's a community-centered pop-up space where visitors can work side by side with the volunteer fixers inside the cafe to diagnose and repair household objects like appliances. There's also clothing they can fix and toys. So the whole idea started ever since 2009 in Amsterdam, and it was founded by a former journalist called Martine Postma, who was frustrated by modern throwaway culture and wanted to create a space where local residents could just gather together, have this little communal space, bring their broken item together and learn how to fix them one by one alongside each other's. And among them, there are skilled volunteers too. So that's how this whole idea emerged. And nowadays, they borrow that idea in many countries, including the US, the UK, Canada too, as a cafe where you can enjoy social time and have things fixed.
Yeah, it started in Amsterdam, and it was just this kind of idea that journalist had, and it was super small.
Yeah.
Very, very small. And then since then, it's just grown, and it's grown, and it's grown. And you can find, and this is a hot issue these days, you can find a lot of media outlets are reporting on the scaling, the global scaling of this. And like you said, you see it in America and the UK and Canada and other countries, for example. And we see this as kind of a powerful form of what they call anti-consumerism in today's economy. And why can they refer to it in that sense?
Well, first of all, consumerism is quite a big category or a big theory that you can actually include a lot of aspects under this umbrella. And this Repair Cafe actually act as a direct rebellion against maybe planned obsolescence, that the corporate practice of deliberately designing products with a limited lifespan so they probably break quickly.
Yep.
And they force you to replace them.
Yeah, that's planned obsolescence. So they build it knowing it's going to break and you're going to have to replace it.
Yeah, I can think of a lot of products right now.
We could spend all day here.
Instead of participating in the constant cycle of buying and discarding them, so participants learn that many like minor faults can be easily corrected with some basic tools. And this hands-on education fundamentally shifts the consumer's mindset from a passive buyer to an active maintainer of this product, of these goods.
Yep.
So this is an environment that encourages you. Of course, there are volunteers that do these kind of fixing, but they're also asking you to sit down and observe how to fix them. Maybe in the future, you can be one of the fixers.
Yeah, I really like the idea that the Repair Cafe isn't just a repair shop. This is an educational process where you have to sit down, you have to join it and learn how to fix it so that next time you don't need to bring this here, or that even next time you can teach this to somebody else who meets similar difficulties. And this reminds me what you said earlier, the products that's designed to be part of the planned obsolescence. Here in China, there's a saying: if you don't buy, you immediately save 100%, no matter how much discount you can get from the campaign.
Which is kind of the opposite what shopaholics will tell you.
Well, yeah.
Because they're saying 25% off. I'm saving money by buying
That's
this.
the thing. They're always telling you are saving by buying. But here is quite the opposite. There's the economic affordability that's being sent out through the Repair Cafe that you don't need to buy. And actually what you think goes wrong is not that big of a deal. It's fixable. So it's really cool.
Why do you think that is that we are, or maybe you disagree with me, but I think about this a lot. We are obsessed with stuff, right?
Owning
stuff. There's a big movement against ownership now these days as well, where people don't want to own a car. They don't want to own a house. They don't want to own a computer. They don't even want to own a backpack. There's a movement of people like that, which completely flies in the face of the way that we used to think, right? The dream is to kind of grow up and buy your own car and buy your own house, but still, though, I think that we are a bit obsessed with buying stuff and owning stuff. I'm like that too. I was talking with Yushan in the last few days about getting a new laptop computer, and I've been obsessed with searching online about specs and things like that, and it's exciting. It's like an adrenaline rush of sorts. Is that just human nature, do you think?
Yeah.
Totally. It's a dopamine loop.
Being obsessive with new products, especially when you can get one and you can have a new experience of that. And that's why I said it can be under a really huge umbrella of the consumerism. As you said, some of these products, now people don't own them, but now they're getting into a mode of subscription mode. You can rent one. You can own this for a month. You can own this for a year, and you can have new products. Maybe you're not owning them, but you're like using them and having them in another way. Is it consumerism? Maybe it is also as well.
The different type.
Yeah, so the modern consumerism is built on the quick dopamine hit of unboxing new items, and a loop that leaves us like perpetually unsatisfied. And repairing an old and familiar object offers a different and maybe deeper kind of psychological satisfaction that's rooted in patience and problem solving. Whenever you find out that you finally got a solution for that old object, and you fixed it by yourself, that's another, I think, dopamine that you can get.
A different type of dopamine hit. Yeah, I agree. I do think it's human nature to want to reward yourself, because you go to work every single day and you work hard to make your money. If you're a student, you study hard to do well in school, and we need some type of reward, right? So oftentimes that comes in the form of buying something new and cool and fun for ourselves. But it doesn't mean that we can't find that same level of enjoyment from these repair cafes. So I was watching some videos online, like, how do these things actually work? So when you walk into one of these cafes, it doesn't feel like you're walking into a service center, because they are not. service centers. They are kind of community-based collaborative workshops. And the people who work there, by the way, they volunteer their time. And one of the news reports I saw, they asked, why do you enjoy, you're working here for free? And they said, well, there's two things. Number one, I love fixing stuff. I also love the challenge of fixing stuff if I've never tried to fix that thing before. And number two, I enjoy helping people. And so when people bring their things in and they're curious how it works and they want to be a part of fixing it, then they sit down together and figure it out. That's how these repair cafes kind of work. So you're empowering the person who brings in the broken thing as well, because oftentimes when things break, we feel useless. We feel like, I don't know what to do in this situation. I'll just get a new one.
Feels like a Genius bar at Apple Store.
Yeah.
But more interactive and more voluntarily of all of these staffs.
And many of these volunteers are actually retired craftspeople. That's why they are so keen into teach younger generations, the teenagers and young adults, the very basic and lost life skills that we tend to ignore, that we are also capable of replicating nowadays, instead of just buying new ones. You see, here in China, it's exactly the same. Me and Yushan, we are among the relatively younger generation, and we had the privilege of growing up, enjoying a fast booming economy here in China and the vast category of daily commodities that we can get our hands on. But for our previous generations, my parents' generation and grandparents' generations, they didn't have that. So fixing things is something natural for them. You don't have to think. If something's broken, let's see what's going on and let's fix it. It's a second nature. They don't think about buying new things. And I remember when I was a kid, my grandpa used to fix everything, fixable or unfixable. He fixes everything in the apartment. So
I used to saw social media posts saying that, okay, our parents' generation, they can always fix things, no matter it's the light bulb, the clothes, or a button just fell off a shirt. They can fix that.
Washing machine, a broken cabinet
everything.
door.
But our generation, we started to hire somebody to fix it. But still, there is a kind of phenomenon of we having the mentality of, okay, if something's broken, we will fix it.
So then this does exist here in China too. Maybe not exactly repair
as a cafe.
As a cafe, but the concept still exists.
Yeah, we even now on the street side, we can still see some of these bicycle fixing stops that you can just parking your bicycle and tell them the problem of it, and they can fix it probably in 5 minutes.
This is good for the environment. Yes, if you're taking part or if you're a person who regularly goes to these cafes, it's good for the planet.
Yeah, true. The environmental saving are incredibly stark when you look at the raw data. And this is according to reports from the Global Repair Café International Foundation that the network of over 3,000 registered cafes successfully diverts more than 450,000 kilograms. That's roughly 1 million pounds of wastes from landfills every single year. And that is a massive mountain of metal and plastic and toxic electronic compounds that never has to be buried or burned in the first place and just get thrown away like that.
Yeah, when you hear numbers like that, then it makes you feel like, we actually can make a difference here. It's good advice. Try to fix it before you throw it away. And if you can be a part of the learning process about how to fix it, that will make it all the more worthy of your time. This is Roundtable, and coming up next, stick around for the Soapbox.
What are they going to say?
Hear ye, hear ye. Please gather round. It's time for the Soapbox.
It is time for the Soapbox once again. It's a segment where we find something spicy that's been circulating online. We bring it here to the show and we tell you how we feel about it. But today we're going to do kind of a hybrid version of the Soapbox because we are going to tell you the story, but our team member Yang Yang has some thoughts on today's issue. Actually, the strongest thoughts on today's issue. So we're going to share Yang Yang's thoughts with you a little bit later, even though Yang Yang's not here in the studio with us today. But let's tell the story first. What's going on? People are traveling to take pictures instead of traveling and then taking pictures once they get there, if that makes sense.
It's a whole paradox that young people are enduring nowadays. There are so many of the so-called 出片姐 or 出片哥 on the social media nowadays that people are commenting. Those are people whose ultimate goal isn't just to travel or enjoy an experience when they're out there. It's all about how to make the pictures they get perfect, especially for social media posts.
And they're going there because they know I can take great pictures there, which is what I was trying to say. I don't think I explained that very well. Usually you go to a place and, wow, this is beautiful, let's take some pictures. But what's happening now is people know, oh, I'm going to go there to take some pictures.
The priority changes.
It's the point of the trip.
And it is not even, I mean, everybody can be one of these photo perfect person. And a lot of them, they are trying to, as you said, making the destination a place that I have to have perfect photo in there. And that is why I think it is making some of the anxiety in these kind of people, because as long as they get perfect photo, they will not give up. Or they think this trip is lost the
meaningless.
point.
Yeah, if the photos don't come out perfectly.
So one story goes like this. There's one young lady who's studying in the UK who described how traveling with a close friend of hers gradually become exhausting because of that. So according to her story, every photo session became an examination of photo taking skills, posting skills, or everything. If a picture wasn't perfect, her friend would insist on taking hundreds more until she's satisfied. So you can imagine disagreements is all over the place. They broke out over lighting and composition, camera angles. And yeah, that's what their trip was about, basically. They left with discussions and disagreements like that throughout their trips across Europe.
Disagreements on the quality of the photo taking.
Yeah. And eventually she just realized that she remembered nothing but how the pictures were taken.
And to explain to our foreign listeners, if you don't understand the environment of Chinese social media, we really do care about the quality of the photos. From the number of roundtable discussing about how we can take good pictures, we can see. I think previously we also talked about how boyfriends cannot take good photos of their girlfriends.
Have you been accused of taking bad photos before?
I've been accused of taking so good photos, and they can... No, it's not about me. So the thing is that there is a really broad social discussion on why we are so obsessed with all of these photos. Even sometimes we forgot the purpose of actually going to somewhere.
Not only forgetting the purpose of going somewhere, but it can put a lot of pressure on a friendship. Because, like you said, Yushan, the girl who traveled to the UK, touring in England with her friend, and the only thing she remembers is the disagreement about the pictures or the number of photos and videos that needed to be taken. So if you're traveling with someone, things can go wrong when you feel like maybe you're doing your job, but your friend isn't doing theirs, and that's exactly what happened to Yang Yang. He's going to share his story with you now in today's Soapbox.
I think something that often gets lost in the debate is most gorgeous photos aren't selfies. And when it's your turn to be the photographer, do you give that same effort back? I learned that on a trip with a friend last year. Every time he wanted a photo, I became a full-time creative director, finding angles, lighting, and making sure he got a perfect shot he liked. Then it's my turn, rushed clicks, questionable posture, zero enthusiasm. And when I asked for another shot, he said something like, photos aren't that important. Now, that's a fascinating opinion to have right after receiving 200 photos of yourself. But that's when I realized this wasn't about pictures. It was about effort. Because when people say it's just a photo, sometimes what they're really saying is, I don't care about this as much as you do. The good news, we talked it through, he apologized, and the rest of the trip was great. So here's my takeaway. A photo is never just a photo. It's a tiny act of care. If someone is willing to spend 5 minutes helping you create a memory, spend 5 minutes helping them create theirs. Because the best pictures aren't proof that you visited a place, they're proof that someone cared enough to make you feel seen.
So that's interesting. It's not so much about the photos, it's how much do you care about putting into, in terms of the effort, how much do you care about the effort when I just put in that much effort for you? That's a valid point, Yang Head.
Yeah, that's getting this conversation a little bit more philosophical now.
Right.
And I understand that. Of course, yeah, just like the example that we talked about the girl in the UK. Of course, when we look back about the photos, okay, it is the photos that you were not even looking at the camera. It is the photos you're at the corner of the photo, and the whole picture is about the building itself.
Yeah.
And of course, we may get pissed. And the thing is that when we are looking back at this moment, we realize that that's what I got, and we should definitely have put in more effort when we can actually discuss during this trip. And I understand that why people look so importantly about these photos, but the things that maybe sometimes we should also think about the experience of making one, and maybe that is another, joke between you and the other person who take the photo for you.
Yushan, has there ever been a dispute in any of your relationships, I mean friendship or otherwise, where you felt like frustrated because the person was a bad picture taker?
Actually, not at all, because I'm too shy to ask for people to take photos of
really?
me. I only take selfies if I think it's necessary to.
I get in trouble because I don't count. Like my wife will ask me to take her picture if we're traveling.
Oh, you take 100 over one side?
No.
Okay.
I don't count. Like, okay, 1, 2, 3, click.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that. She just
I
gives me the
know.
camera
Yeah,
and I just go.
stand straight. Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
I don't
Yeah.
say anything.
What?
I just go click. Here you go.
My.
When she's not even ready.
Yeah. Still married though, so that's good. That'll do it for today's Roundtable. Thanks for being with us today for Yushan and Yushan. I'm Steve. Enjoy your time and do come back again.